Hello citizen. Be advised this content creator is human and is therefore subject to human error. Remember, trust your government, and be cautious of all conspiracy theories as they are the tools of the rebellion.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to the 21 CD podcast, Dystopian News, Episode 1, where we're going to be talking about some super relevant topics because they are happening right now, being discussed right now, and somebody's got to give an honest opinion. So January 4th, 2024, Bayside Marketplace, downtown Miami. You guys already know where I'm going with this. There was an alien invasion. Allegedly. A massive police response where allegedly 50 young people were fighting with sticks and shooting off fireworks at random people. Now, reports kept coming in, obviously, when basically every single cop in the world shows up to respond to some juveniles with sticks, it raises some eyebrows. Like, was nothing else going on in Miami? Was nobody keeping an eye on Florida Man? You really just left Florida Man unsupervised? It must have been for a good reason. And oh yeah, it was, because there were 8 to 10 foot tall aliens sort of just walking around at the mall.
On New Year's Day, a large police presence was caught on video surrounding a mall in Miami. Perhaps you saw this, a video posted online claiming it was due to an alien sighting in that area. So what really happened?
Look at that police presence.
If you look at the little footage that was released that night, there does seem to be some massive hologram-looking creature moving along the stairs at the entrance of the mall. The Miami Police Department officially declared the following, and I quote, "There were no aliens, UFOs, or ETs. No airports were closed, no power outages." And they included a little facepalm emoji to solidify their point, I guess, that they are embarrassed of all of us for assuming that there could possibly be aliens in a time like now. A place like here. This report came after reports started circulating that the airspace above the mall had been closed and that large parts of Miami were experiencing power outages. And I saw some footage of that, so I'm not sure how they can say there were no power outages. Maybe the people who had power outages were lying about it? Not exactly sure, but allegedly it was related to the entities that were invading the Bayside Mall. The paid actors at CBS Miami went on to say, "Go ahead and research what's going on here all you want, but remember, there were no aliens." Okay, great. My mind is totally put at ease. Everybody go home. Just kidding. If there was nothing there, then why can't we see any police dash cam or body cam footage? Why can't we see any footage from inside or outside the mall? Is this the only mall in the USA without security cameras? You can't even go to the last remaining Sears at your local strip mall without there being better video surveillance than there was at what looked like the response to a literal invasion of Miami. Other individuals reported Blackhawks in the airspace above the mall. Blackhawks, for those who don't know, are military helicopters, and they're the scary black ones that usually bring in the dudes who are about to seriously mess up your day.
Safety should be on at all times on base.
Well, that's my safety, sir.
Let it go, sir. The guy hasn't eaten in a couple of days.
And if there really were so many kids with sticks and fireworks running around, can somebody tell me why they allegedly only arrested 4 of them? Apparently, Miami PD is just really not that effective when it comes to catching kids with sticks. We really have no idea if that's even true because, again, nobody has provided any proof that that's even happened. Why has there been little to no cell phone footage from anyone, anywhere, from inside or around the mall at this time? In a world where people will get out their phones to record car crashes instead of stopping to help the people who are bleeding out on the side of the road, you're telling me that nobody got any footage of this event. Why? This tells me that either there are widespread threats against anybody who releases footage, anybody who talks, or some kind of weapon took out the cameras, took out electronics, maybe an EMP-style blast or something like that. There has to be a reason that there's no footage. So there are a couple things going through my head right now when it comes to this incident. One, there was a literal terror attack that was snuffed out. Someone reported something, and the cops shut down a literal attack by a foreign nation or a terror group. And to keep the population under control and to avoid chaos, the truth of a terror attack is just not being released. In about 20 years, maybe there will be a whistleblower. This theory kind of goes along with my idea that the United States is already at war. We are already fighting a war with a foreign nation or two or three, but the propaganda machine set up by our government is so effective that we just don't even realize it because we're all a bunch of sheep just walking to the slaughter. The second theory is this really is just being completely blown out of proportion. Kids with Sticks did raid the mall because kids these days are so out of control because the vast majority of parents absolutely neglect them and don't even attempt to raise good people anymore. So they were shooting off fireworks, and that was mistaken for an active shooter situation. Imagine if 50 kids showed up with weapons and just started spraying. Now that would be a situation that would need to be controlled immediately by the million cops that were there. The third theory is that aliens really did invade. And I don't know, that doesn't seem too far-fetched these days either. I don't know why they're so adamant that we don't believe aliens invaded. You guys literally just told us they exist. So why are we not allowed to believe that they're invading the mall? What if there was just a killer deal at North Face and the aliens wanted to get some good parkas? This is my fourth theory. The government performed some kind of black project to create yet another diversion from something else that is really actually going on. Something sinister that we're not supposed to know about. Does anybody remember that naughty list from the guy who didn't off himself in prison when all of the cameras were mysteriously shut off and all of the security guards mysteriously fell asleep? Because that's something that's going on right now that apparently just isn't really even being discussed anymore. I can't really think of any other reasons for what happened at the Bayside Mall that night. Not with the information that I have been provided, at least. A user by the name of Mama7665 on YouTube says, the media's responsibility is to uncover facts independently, contributing to a transparent and informed society. However, challenges like financial pressures and career motivations sometimes overshadow this duty, leading to a failure in delivering comprehensive and objective news. A shift towards investigative journalism and a commitment to prioritizing truth over other interests is essential for rebuilding trust in media. Couldn't agree more. It's important to understand that we live in an age of propaganda and lies. They will lie to our faces. We will tell them you are lying to our faces. And then they will say, yeah, you're right. We are lying to your faces. And then we will say, knew it. Got you. And we will never pursue the truth because the morons that live in today's world are more focused on being right than understanding and knowing the truth. So, all this to say, we may never know what happened at the mall in Miami. There's corruption in the police department, there's corruption in the media, and the same corrupt cabal is controlling both. We have no idea what happened in Miami. I'll tell you this much, there is no way, none, zero way, that every single camera in and around that place, every single cell phone, every single dash cam, every single security camera, there is no way that they all have been silenced. This is why I think something weird really actually happened. Something that eliminated cameras from the whole picture. A technology of some sort, some kind of energy blast, something shut down every single camera. And that same thing seems to be keeping people silent. So is it threats from the government or is it something else? And I know what you guys are thinking. Well, I mean, you're showing a little bit of footage here, John, and there was some footage that did make it out.
Well, by now, you've probably seen this. The video is on your social media feed. Teens spreading panic at Bayside Marketplace. Groups fighting, lighting fireworks, and damaging stores.
Teens started causing a riot inside the mall and were lighting loud fireworks.
Yes, but tell me why it is the worst footage you have ever seen. We have companies out here literally advertising that you can count the craters on the moon with their 100 times zoom, but we can't get any footage that doesn't look like it was recorded with some sort of Stone Age invention. I don't get it. I don't understand it whatsoever. And people wonder why I tell them, don't talk to the police. Ever. Just don't talk to them. Because evidence, somehow, sometimes, it seems to just grow legs and walk off into the abyss, never to be seen again. There are reports of a literal portal opening up in the mall. And, yep, I've got some footage. I don't know if it's real or not, but this is the footage that they say is of a portal opening up in the mall. Now, of course, it's closed circuit footage, so pretty low quality. Take it with a grain of salt. It may or may not even be real, but yeah, when you watch this, it could kind of explain why nobody was filming anything. It looks like Oppenheimer entered the chat and everybody just scattered. Not me. I would have plugged my nose and cannonballed right into that thing. But look, a guy who is the alleged son of an alleged deputy who is allegedly running for sheriff in Miami, released some footage of him video chatting his alleged dad, and his alleged dad was allegedly hesitant to talk to him, saying that he allegedly wasn't allowed to talk about what was allegedly going down. The problem is, when you're a content creator, you gotta make content, and you gotta follow trends, so that is probably literally all that this is.
How have I not heard about this? My dad's a police officer in Miami, and I mean, like, he's even running for sheriff, and I just talked to him. He didn't say anything about that. Hey, did you, have you been seeing the alien stuff? Did you see that at Bayside? You're joking. You're joking. Did they tell you not to talk about it?
How many times do you want me to slice the pie?
Okay, so they're saying it's like a fight broke out. Why did they send so many police cars?
That may not have been his dad at all, or his dad maybe just didn't want to come out and talk about it with his son because he didn't want to be blasted all over social media as being the only cop to talk about what's going down. Other eyewitnesses appear to be some of the worst crisis actors I have ever seen. They look stoned, they don't seem credible or stable. They are basically, I'm just gonna say it, clout chasers. And some of them are already saying, yep, we're clout chasers. So what exactly was it? What happened? When you see this kind of footage, what do you think? People are saying interdimensional beings, people are saying aliens, and some people are even saying skinwalkers. Are we witnessing something paranormal here that nobody really knows how to describe? Or is this just a massive psyop? Is the mob of kids story just a cover-up? The terrible footage that has been allowed to somehow leak into the public that has come from this scene shows massive chaos inside the mall and people fleeing the mall. There is no doubt that something did occur to incite this madness. Something prompted massive police response. Why? What was it? And why won't they tell us the truth? A bunch of weirdos who drink the water are spreading this story about how reversing the coordinates of the mall brings you to Antarctica. So this must simply be a case of some portal jumper putting in the wrong coordinates into their portal machine. And this accidentally made them end up in a mall in Miami. I didn't realize that TikTok had so many resident portal experts who just know how to use portals. So I'm gonna go ahead and pass on that one. Thanks. Miami PD eventually did release a video on social media claiming that due to looting and fireworks being shot at random people in the mall, officers at the scene were just completely overwhelmed. They called a citywide 3, which apparently draws every cop in the universe to their location. The alien footage, they said, was just some officers with weird shadows. Now, of course, this is exactly what local authorities have to do in a situation like this. They can't just say nothing. I don't think anyone is surprised about Miami PD's explanation. So, let's wrap this party up. What do I think happened? My gut tells me that not everything is something. You have to have a level head. You can't just believe everything, or you're just as bad as the people who believe in nothing and just follow everything that's on the media. Kids are absolutely bonkers these days. They're out of control. They suck. I would not be surprised whatsoever if some looting little losers were out here trying to mob rush a store like we've seen recently happen all over the country. They drop some fireworks on their way in or out to cause chaos and confusion, and this causes people to panic because everybody is afraid of active shooters these days. Police at the scene couldn't contain the madness, a bigger response was needed, and yeah, the police, not knowing really what's going on, overreacted, and this story blew out of proportion because it seemed like there were a bunch of guns going off at the mall. But you also know, I'm a believer. I believe in these things. Elohim, Nephilim, fallen angels, the ethereal, the paranormal, the supernatural. I believe in this stuff. So I could also see how something really did become visible at the Bayside Mall. Some ethereal being spawned, made itself visible for some reason, somehow. And the reason I am leaning on this a little bit is because of the media response, which is just so adamant that there were no aliens, that there's nothing to see here.
An alien, potentially. Miami police clearing up some conspiracy theories about a recent invasion.
They say it in such a "there's no monsters under your bed, go back to sleep" sort of fashion that it makes me really truly wonder. Unfortunately, we live in a world where our media lies through their crooked teeth, and like I said before, we will probably never know what actually happened. I wish I could give you a definitive answer, but there's just barely enough to go off of at this time. Maybe, just maybe, we can revisit this a little bit more in the future. I will keep you updated on any further information that I gain access to. I would not be surprised in the slightest if this turned out to be something much bigger than it is being made out to be now. But currently, I believe that this was probably a psyop of some sort or something blown out of proportion. If I do find more information leading to the idea that this was aliens, I will readily and happily relay that information because that time is coming. I just wonder if it's this time. I wonder if the time is now or if the time is just very close at hand. People are on edge. People are ready for something to happen. All right, everybody. Stay safe, stay alive, don't drink the water, question everything.